Hey guys, Tommy Carrigan here with Tommy Untamed. Thanks for tuning in. We got an awesome guest today. You're going to enjoy it. It's it's been a minute since we talked. I'm not entirely sure what the last thing we talked about was, and that's nobody's job but my own, and I don't know that. So, I guess I should. So, I don't really know kind of what's going on. I obviously had family, yes, I was just telling you I have family yesterday. And Well, actually, no, I do know what's going on. The it's not nothing that the DNI came out and said that a former president is suspected for treason. I guess that's a little asterisk that we should maybe discuss that insane happening. So I'm gonna hand it over to you because it's a shorter show. What what all can you tell me and my audience about that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right to highlight it. So I did get to watch the White House press briefing yesterday with Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, and of course with Caroline Leavitt there. And they shared the podium at the microphones there. And really, Director Gabbard was the one who took the time to brief us all probably a good 20 minutes. I wasn't watching, exactly, but good 20 minutes to lay out exactly what, she has now found at her office and with her team and what they're going to do going forward. And what she said basically is that the House Intelligence Committee report on the whole Russia Gate, Russia hoax episode. Um, that report from the HIPSI has now been declassified by Director Gabbard and then passed to the Department of Justice, Attorney General Pam Bondi, for further review and action as the Attorney General may see fit. And what's in that report, as well as I understand many other documents, also declassified by Director Gabbard, um, beginning last Friday, when apparently hundreds of pages were declassified and released. And then, this press conference, yesterday elaborated on that and added to it. And what apparently, she is describing is, a blockbuster, episode in our nation's history. And the way she explained it is that former President Barack Obama was the one who led and orchestrated this entire attempt. First, back in 2016, before the election of that November, led the effort to discredit Donald Trump, then candidate for president, by smearing him falsely and knowingly falsely, with the backup support help of Director of CIA John Brennan, with the director then of the National Intelligence, and that would have been Clapper, Director
Mm-hmm.
Clapper at that time, director of the CIA or the FBI, James Comey, and others, but those in particular, an effort to smear then candidate Trump with the false accusation. And as I said, as she said, they knew it was false when they made the accusations that Russia and Russian President Vladimir Putin had colluded with Trump in the campaign of that year 2016, and that Trump had the assistance, the backing of Putin and of Russia, who were they allege that Putin and Russia favored Donald Trump to be voted in the next president, and that the collusion was between them, Trump and Putin, to make that happen and to um, ensure that Trump would win that election, which he did win the election of November 2016, but had nothing to do with any kind of favoritism or assistance from Putin or Russia. In fact, um, what Director Gabbard said yesterday is that according to some of those documents that she declassified, um, the Russians were involved in an attempt during that election year and campaign to interfere in a way that would sow chaos in the American electoral system and so discord and mistrust in our democratic electoral process. That was the role that Russia and Putin actually played, and they did that through various means, cyber, um, an army of bots, and influence and psyops in that way. Well, then Donald Trump did win the election, but not with the help of Russia. And at that point, then come December of 2016, month after the election, um, then still President Barack Obama convened a meeting, including the people we mentioned above, according to Director Gabbard, to decide now that Trump is president-elect, how to disrupt his coming presidency now that he's going to be president. And they cooked up this plan that eventually became known as Russiagate, Russia, Russia, Russia. And the plan was based on what they knew to be false accusations in the so-called Steele dossier that was bought and paid for by the Hillary Clinton and Democrat Party campaign of that previous year, 2016. They knew that the accusations contained in that report were false and had no basis in truth and reality, but they relied on it anyway because they thought that that would help them to discredit Trump. And that was the beginning of this years-long campaign that went into, investigations, Mueller investigation, Horowitz investigation, um, you know, um, the attempts in Congress to impeach him twice, to impeach then President Trump twice, um, and really, forced President Trump during that first, um, tenure of his as president from 2017 all the way through 2020 until 2021, really January, forced him to, be distracted from governing, from, working on his own agenda because he was being beset on all sides by all of this cooked up false nonsense. So this is basically what's contained in the documents that Director Gabbard told us about yesterday and that have been declassified. And what she did then say, they took a lot of questions. She, Director Gabbard, and also um, White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt took quite a number of questions from the assembled press corps there in the White House press room. And Director Gabbard was asked multiple times in different kind of ways, what are you going to do now? What's next? Are you going to press charges? Are you going to seek to indict? And she repeated each time her answer was that she has passed over all of this information um, to the Department of Justice, to Attorney General Pam Bondi, because it will be their responsibility to investigate further and decide if actual any kind of indictments or further legal action is warranted or not. And, during the day to day and, well, the rest of yesterday and today, it has pretty much consumed, a lot of the news cycle. Um, Different experts, including, George Washington University's lawyer, Jonathan Turley, and others, have said that, there may not be an actual basis for um, actually levying any kind of legal, charges against any of these players that have been named. Certainly, President Obama, because I heard Jonathan Turley just a while ago on an interview saying that the actions that Obama took while in the Oval Office, while president, probably are covered by immunity for actions taken in furtherance of policy as president. But we'll have to see. But long story short, even though Director Gabbard has called this treasonous conspiracy multiple times, she used that term, a threat against our democratic republic, she used that term. Um, we'll just have to wait and see how the Department of Justice deals with all of this.
Yeah, it's Crossfire Hurricane, if I remember. I don't know if that encompasses all of it or just part of it, but
Also, yeah,
even just to play devil's advocate, which is very difficult for this, but
yeah.
I'll try. There is and this is not what this was, but every election there is, dirty tricks. There is smearing, the 2 a.m. ad, my opponent, was it LBJ that did the whole, like, they zoom in on the girl's eye and it shows a mushroom cloud going on. And it's,
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I was a little kid, but
yeah,
okay, yeah,
there's that. And you could even get further. I think the Clinton campaign circulated that photo of Obama in classical Islamic garbs. You got the Mitt Romney thing. The 47% of people are on welfare. You got was it John Kerry,
yeah.
Swiss
I
boat
mean, these
veteran.
fall in the category,
But
like you say,
that's what I'm
dirty
getting at.
tricks.
It's the
Every
whole.
campaign.
It's a toxic, greasy. Of
Yeah,
course it is. He didn't kiss
but
a
this was
baby.
different.
This
This
is
was
very
very different.
different in one that it is outright fabrication. Like, let's say,
And they knew it was false when they
well,
did it.
that's the whole, like, Watergate thing. What did they know and when
And
did they know it?
potentially a number of them lying under oath to Congress.
Well, it's very different in multiple ways. In one, you could say, it was dirty tricks to circulate a photo of Obama in Muslim garb. It's like, but that photo is real. You could circulate the phone call of Mitt Romney or Mitt Romney at the private thing going, 47% of Americans are, welfare queens. Like, dirty, but he did say that. Like, those are
Hmm.
real things where it's like, hey, if that looks dirty, then it's dirty.
Yeah.
That is so much different than, well, one, willfully, knowingly fabricating thing, but it's not that his opponent, I know it was tied in, it's the sitting president using the national security apparatus.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
such a whole different ball game
Yes.
of, yeah, he's a draft dodger or he's a womanizer. That's so much different to use
Yeah.
those, and not only use those, but use those and use the privilege of saying, well, we're not going to show you because there's national security, but we know for a fact that a foreign government,
Like Adam Schiff did multiple times
that
over the
is
course of the years.
that is non-equatable. That is,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
because
Very different.
it's not even that Hillary Clinton said it during a debate and Trump can defend
Yeah.
himself. It's the sitting president saying, I have, special access program, briefings from the NSA and the NRO, and they're tracking and national threat to, and you're not allowed to see it.
Yeah.
And so you just have to assume that they're not lying. And even if you doubt that they're telling the truth, there's no real way to push back. I mean, these are the biggest. This is the head of the CIA. This is the head of the National Security Agency. It's not Tommy's podcast spouting off. You have kind of
Yeah.
no
Pretty
different
close.
than, yeah, very close. Thank you. No different than COVID, where it's like not a random doctor. Where you have the heads of the FDA or the CDC or the whatever saying this stuff. It's a total abuse of authority.
Yeah.
I I would imagine that Obama would be shielded of it, not because he's Obama, but just in the sense of presidents and, plausible
That's
deniability
the
and blah blah.
point that Jonathan Turley brought up.
But is that not was that precedent not shattered by the rating of Mar-a-Lago in 2022. And I don't know. I'm actually asking, is that precedent out the window now of like, no, you can go arrest former presidents?
No, I mean the immunity still holds for, this and former and future presidents.
Okay.
Obviously, the raid on Mar-a-Lago was part of this whole campaign, to discredit President Donald Trump. Um, but the real part of this that is so um, debilitating to our republic is that this was an effort by the sitting president of the United States and the senior members of the intelligence community at the time to subvert the
The
will of the American people, and talk about, destroying democracy. That's the very definition of subverting our democracy. Yes, we're a constitutional republic, but the process of elections and voting, that is supposed to be, um, you know, that is the very definition of our democracy. And when it's subverted by the very highest authorities, in the government at the time, that's a direct assault on the republic as well as our democratic form of government. I will say, even at the time, back number of years, at the House Select Committee on Intelligence, the HIPSI, when Devin Nunes was the chairman of that committee, and Derek Harvey was his top investigator. They pursued this. They tried very hard to expose this, and it was squashed. Also, you had, various, honest news commentators like a Sean Hannity, like a John Solomon, trying and trying to reveal, what was being done, and basically all of it squashed until now, until we get, a director of national intelligence like Tulsi Gabbard who's willing to expose it all.
Yeah, it's even if to further extend devil's advocacy. I mean, there are things like the Francis Gary Powers getting shot down, and apparently Eisenhower went back into his office and was like, "I need to resign because I lied to the American people and said we weren't doing any more overflights." Even Kennedy, he had to go out and bite the bullet and be, technically I am the commander in chief, and Bay of Pigs, Operation Mongoose, that is on me. It's on my shoulders. As much as he wanted to blame whoever, it's still on him.
Yeah,
There's like
yeah,
that
he
level.
left
Even
those people to die.
even Nixon resign, you could say, Reagan, the Contras, like you have all these things that are, but then again, even those, and this could be, my American bias, obviously, but even those were all things, though unpopular, aimed at the enemies of the United States.
That's right. They
This is
were
not the
not aimed
same.
at we the
This is not
people.
the same
Yeah,
as Amy. It's
very
not saying.
different.
It's not saying,
Right.
I should have been honest with you. Yeah, we're doing YouTube. It's like, yeah, but it's against the Soviet Union. Like, sure, you lied, but also like, whatever. You're doing it, and then it's like,
In
what are you doing?
furtherance of the defense of the republic.
Yeah, and
That's the difference.
and then it's not even, you go. Let's say just really stretch it. It's not even that, say, there were American domestic terrorists who were planning a catastrophic event and they broke the rule and they said, we're going to do domestic surveillance and whatever, domestic action. This didn't happen. Let's just say hypothetically, the CIA drone strikes somebody in, the outskirts of Chicago, and it turns out they were going to do a 9/11 or something. Even that, I think most people would be like, that's a dangerous precedent, but okay. It's not the same as going, we just don't like this guy. And it's not that they believed the evidence. It's not that they
So they
were
knew
fed.
perfectly well that what they were citing was what they were pushing was false. They knew it and they
It's
did it anyway.
it's not like they were being, by some like false defector or something. It's not like they truly believed that Trump was, if they knew damn well. And
Yeah.
it's kind of surreal to see it even being mentioned. I mean, will it be followed through with? I don't know, but it is kind of surreal to even see this or hear it being mentioned. Like
Yeah,
it always
yeah.
seemed like one of those things where it's like, yeah, it would be nice, but justice
It's
doesn't always happen.
jarring, but
Yeah,
for a lot of us who followed this through the
we
years,
all kind
it's
of knew it.
long time coming. And actually, I think we're thankful, even if technicalities like immunity for the president's policies while in office, or the other technical uh, limitations on what do you call it um, for pursuing a case.
Statute
Even
of
if those
limitations, parallel
statute of
construction.
limitations means that charges, cannot be followed up on. Just, the allowing of the information now to finally become public, to be declassified into the public realm, um,
That is
reassures us, that first of all, our republic is still a republic, res publica. I think we've talked about this before, right? The word is from Latin. Res means the thing, publica, the public thing. What is the public thing? It's the law, it's the Constitution. That still, still prevails. Even if, this episode of an attack on our system, our laws, our democratic process of elections was probably the worst case we've ever seen in our history. But to know now that we weren't nuts, that all the people that were trying to expose it all, they were not nuts, that this really did happen, and it's now being aired in public, and I think that's the right thing to do.
yeah, you're right. Even with presidential immunity, the fact that it's out there, I wonder. In the and we, I know we got to go in a couple minutes, but is how much does the Durham report play? Because I remember that was a big thing, and then kind of seems
Yeah,
like nothing
how many
came from it.
millions of dollars spent on it, to what end?
You wonder,
Nothing.
did it uncover anything? Is
Or the
this like,
Mueller
yeah?
investigation, or the Horowitz investigation, never uncovered all of this. No, they did not.
And it's also just kind of a curious observation that that someone in trying to preserve the republic or the law, somebody preserved all of that. Like you would think that the Biden administration would have destroyed all evidence of Crossfire Hurricane. How did it get into the current? That's
I
kind
mean,
of
apparently,
somebody stowed it.
the records were still in the files, and
That's wild. Yeah,
OD and I and people, staff found them.
that's what's kind of getting me. Is like that would be the first if I was the Biden. That's the first thing I would do. And if I was Obama, I'd be like, hey, like I helped get you in. Like, go delete this. That means someone somewhere, I would assume, defied an order somewhere because there's no way they weren't told.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. Or is it just the fact that,
There's so much
files and
data. Yeah,
records are forever, and you
yeah.
can try to hide them, but they're going to be
There's
found at
always
some
going to be a
point.
fingerprint somewhere. There's a thread to be pulled
Yeah,
on.
I don't know.
It's. I mean, we'll wrap it up with this. Like, whenever I like log in a Rumble or something to post the show, I always see the front page, which is always just some nauseatingly clickbait title, and it's always just
Yeah.
bullshit. And it's like, yeah, I'm like, why do I even try to do genuine episodes when whatever? That's a higher. Seeing these thumbnails the last couple of days, I just didn't even acknowledge them. I was just like, yeah, it's no different than like UFO spotted. And I'm just like, yeah, Obama's going down for treason. But then I've been getting like different texts from people and different emails from people. And now I'm looking at it. I'm like, I legitimately thought it was just BS. I thought it was just somebody
Oh,
getting
no,
clip.
this is real.
It's
I don't know if you were able
wild.
to catch that press conference yesterday,
No,
but it was a very serious, very revealing, um, very welcome press conference.
I mean, stay tuned. I guess I
Yeah,
don't know. We'll
yeah.
have to do one
It's
sooner
over
than
to
later. Yeah,
Justice Department now.
yeah. It's I don't know. I
We'll
suppose an
see.
answer to prayers. It's also like it's almost like, yeah, I just wanted this to happen. It's like, yeah, well, it's happening. Like, cheer up. Yeah, there's part of me that's
Thought the
so
day
used
would
to.
never come when all of that malfeasance would be revealed, but now it has been.
it's stuff like this that I mean, more than like a sunset, more than something else, or more than like it's stuff like this that does always pull me back and make me believe in a creator. Yeah, like last summer, the bullet missing Trump's ear. Some things are just so in your face. It's
Mm.
like, the big guy's watching out to a degree. He's watching out. He's letting us
Well,
mess
I
up.
I take renewed hope and confidence and trust
Yeah,
in our republic.
it's worth it. A republic if you can keep it, right? Ben Franklin. So, but Miss
It still
Lopez,
works.
it does. It does. Ben would be happy. We'll wrap it up for now. Sorry for the shorter episode. I feel like we're probably gonna have to do one sooner than later, seeing as how this unfolds.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
thank you so much, guys. Go in the description. Go follow her on Twitter. I will send this to you when it's up. It'll probably be up tomorrow. And as always, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you, Tommy.
Hey there! Are you tired of skyrocketing subscription costs? With Q Broadcast, you get an entertainment package that is unmatched by other providers, with all your favorite content in one affordable bundle. Enjoy a 15-day trial for just $14.99. And if you refer 3 friends and they stick around, your subscription is free. Say goodbye to high-priced subscriptions, contracts, and hassles, and say hello to streaming simplicity with Q Broadcast. This changes everything.
Heaven's Harvest Prepper Food, 72 servings per pail, 25 years shelf life. I've had the owner Clayton on the show before. He's a God-fearing, America-loving patriot. Get one of these, get a couple of them, throw them in your basement. It's good to have it, not need it, than to need it and not have it. If you don't want to do that, you can get their seeds. You can plant your own garden, so you don't even have to keep buying them. You can just get the goods and start your own, or you can even get freeze-dried fruits and vegetables like bananas, apples, strawberries, and raspberries. They support the show. It's an honest product. It's a good safety measure to have, and they keep my show free for you. So I'd implore you guys to please go to heavensharvest.com, use the link in the description, promo code TPC. Axios Fitness Coaching is a premium resource for holistic strength and conditioning services. Axios is best known for the Training Club, capital T, capital C, an exclusive community that prioritizes accountability, technique, diet, and nutrition. Everything you need to do to take action against the decay of the modern world. Whether you're looking to improve your physique, build strength, or just take care of your health and fitness, Axios will provide you with a solution that is effective and simple to execute. All you need to do is complete the intake survey, and you can see if you're a good candidate for the training club or any other of the services. And it's going to sponsor the show. So, one company falls off, another one arises. So if you guys like the show, you want to work out, throw the show a couple shekels. Go take the survey. Thank you so much, guys.
Higher ultraviolet exposure is associated with lower mortality. The United Kingdom is a high latitude and low sunlight country. Researchers there collected data on over 360,000 participants in a study of UV exposure via solarium use. When compared with non-users, solarium users had 15% risk lowered of all-cause mortality, 23% lower risk of cardiovascular mortality, 14% lower risk of cancer mortality, and a 12% lower risk of non-cardiovascular, non-cancer mortality. In other words, all other causes. Quoting the researchers, our study adds to the growing evidence that the benefits of UV exposure outweigh the risks in low sunlight environments. A link to the original publication is available in the box below the video. Get some UV light this winter. Immerse yourself in the tranquility of the blue. Visit a blue room soon. www.blueroom.com